Hello and welcome to the Bookish Rambles podcast with me, Holly.
And me, Becky.
And today did we talk about this in the last episode? I don't know if we did, because honestly, we filmed them a bit out of sync, gonna be honest with you, behind the scenes. Look.
It's all a mess.
In fact, no, we can't have, because we filmed the last episode before. Great.
This one, yeah.
Yeah, so we're 2 episodes ahead, have no fear. But basically we're talking about Jamaica Inn by Daphne du Maurier. I was going to say Rebecca.
Different book.
Like, Rebecca du Maurier, that doesn't sound right.
Daphne du Maurier.
But yeah, so I'm going to just start with the obvious. You already know. I did DNF this.
Mm-hmm.
I got 60% of the way through, and basically I realised that I was just bored because I didn't feel like there was anything that was going to happen from that point.
Yeah, I can see that. Like, the end of the novel is a bit of a, like, it takes a long time to get there.
I felt like okay, so I don't know for sure because I've not read it. Is the priest guy a villain?
Yeah.
Okay. And the thing that, okay, I'll say this is the thing that kind of stopped me, because it wasn't that I was interested at first. I remember I messaged you, and even like up until the last day I was kind of curious, but then every time something would happen, first of all, I hate her relationship with, this is going to be a bit ranty, I'm sorry, because you like this,
fine.
But I hated her relationship with Jem. I was like, babe, this is the biggest red flag that you've ever seen in your life. And not even in a way that, like, in Rebecca the guy was a red flag, because in Rebecca, the woman that he dated was a red flag, his first wife. In this book, this man is like, every woman in our family gets treated poorly by the men, and I probably would do the same. And then she, like, falls in love with him when he's, like, actively, like, what is that relationship? And then her in general, she really irritated me because, like, she saw what they were doing and that they were gonna wreck the ship, and her, like, thought process was, first of all, the fact that she wound back on the beach anyway. Like, okay, you had one job and it was to walk away from the beach. Second of all, why are you running out into the beach trying to stop a ship when you can hear the beach very clearly? Like, you can hear the sea. The sea is loud. They're not hearing you. The people on the shore, they're going to hear you. Why are you running at them when you would be better going into town and being like, hey, this thing's happening, as if you were going to originally do that? I was like, this woman is a complete idiot. And I just, like, I was like, oh my god, I cannot root for this woman anymore.
Do you want to know how it ends, right?
Oh my god.
Right, is his name Jem? It's been a while since I read it. Okay,
Yeah.
So it's been a couple of months. I enjoyed it because I love morally grey I love morally grey people and people who aren't good in a sense. Like,
and it's a genre
it fascinated me though. Yeah, I love stuff like that. So, like, her being an idiot wasn't a problem. She was annoying, I will admit, but I just really loved the atmosphere of the story. I think that's what kept me going. I was like,
as I was reading it, I was literally like, I fully understand. If anything, I could see kind of like a bit of your writing style in the way that book was written, because I think it was written a little bit less. I mean, yes, there was a lot of description of the landscape, but it wasn't
first book though, isn't it?
It didn't have as much, like, detail. I think that was one of your criticisms of Rebecca, is that there was a little bit more unnecessary detail, a little bit of sort of meandering on certain things.
Yeah, I think it's what people like different things, don't they? So, like, I mean, I like detail, but I feel like if you get weighed down, it's something that you learn when you're writing anyway. Like, if you put too much detail in, it can weigh down the story. You've got to find, like, the right balance between the two of them, which is very, very hard to do.
Oh, yeah.
Like, no one's perfect at it. Like, I'm not great. I'm not perfect at it. I know I'm not. Like, sometimes I can go into too much detail. Sometimes I can go into less detail. But nothing you ever do will be perfect anyway. It's just up to the eye of the beholder. But the book ends, so Jem ends up leaving on a car, and I can't remember the name of her. I can't remember. What's her name? I can't remember.
Mary Ellen?
Mary, that's it, Mary. And Mary is walking to she's staying at someone's house. It's not is it it's not the vicar's house, it's like it's the housekeeper, like she stays with the housekeeper because the housekeeper of the priest is a good
Oh,
woman,
okay.
so ends up staying with her. So she's been wandering around and she's like, I don't know what to do, and then she sees him running with this car and they have a conversation, and she's like, I could stay at this village that everybody's asked me to stay, and she ends up going with him on the car.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's how it ends.
This is the same woman who was like, I would never get married because all the women that I know have been diminished by marriage. And then she meets the most obviously abusive guy ever, who literally, do you know what really irritated me? She accidentally goes over to his house, and then he's like, okay, come on then, cook me dinner.
I know.
Like, and this is the same woman who's like, I have self-respect. And it's like, no, you don't. You don't.
Yeah.
And I get that people are complicated, but Jesus Christ.
I think, like, Daphne was trying to make I suppose at the time she was trying to make her seem like, I don't want to use the word girl boss, but like that's what's coming to mind.
The thing is,
She was trying to make that kind of like 20th century version of a girl boss, but it doesn't really work.
I feel like that was kind of there with Rebecca. Like, yes, you could very much argue that, this guy killed his wife. Oh, spoilers for Rebecca. I'll maybe put that in earlier. But in fact, that's not really a spoiler. That's like the whole thing, right? Like, everyone kind of knows that that's what happened.
Yeah.
Except for the protagonist. But, like, the thing is, I said this in the Rebecca episode. Rebecca, it's not that she deserved it, but, like, she was a very heartless person. And she had feelings for some people, but she was, like, very... And they had an agreement, and she broke it, and she was ruining his reputation. And she just didn't care, she was getting careless. I can understand why he would have killed her. She was a victim of a lot of types of abusive people. She was very hateful. It wasn't like he killed a completely innocent woman, and she provoked him. She knew that was going to happen, and she provoked it. And she was also dying anyway, and so she kind of, I think, the way that I see it, she wanted him to kill her, because she very specifically didn't want to live and suffer through that, which is the reason that they give the magistrate or whatever for her, like, death investigation, right? So, like, it was, like, almost her choice to die, and she kind of manipulated it into happening. I'm not blaming Rebecca, but I'm trying to say that it's a more complicated situation than just a man killed his wife, right? The main character finds this out, and she is just happy that her husband actually does love her, and that their relationship, there isn't another woman in the relationship in the way that she has been thinking that there was, and that now that she knows she can move past it, she chooses to sort of look past that because she loves him, and she at that point has learned a few things about Rebecca, and she is willing to believe, especially because as well, you have to understand, if your, like, husband's dead wife was, like, best friends with this governess, and that woman, like, was like, kill yourself to you have to think that, yeah, she probably was a pretty awful person. So I feel like in that book, yes, she makes some questionable choices, and she is very weak at the beginning, but she kind of decides to step into herself and become more confident, and I think that there's something in that, whereas in this, it just feels like she says a lot of stuff about how she's this strong, independent, I'm gonna get my aunt and myself out of this horrible situation, and then she just proceeds to not do that. Like, bearing in mind, she was in a town, alone, abandoned, and instead of going to the police and being like, hey, this stuff's going on, like, can you maybe come and put a stop to it? I've heard some stuff. She's just like, yeah, I'm gonna walk home in the rain. That's a sensible decision. That's the right call. And you have to, I don't know. I felt like it irritated me.
Yeah, she does make a lot of stupid decisions. I think she's only like 24, isn't she? So she's young, but...
I think she's 26.
I don't remember. She's in her 20s. And, like, I think it was describing her as a bit naive, so I think I kind of let it slide, because I was like, she's naive, she's grown up on a farm, she doesn't really know that much, so that's where I kind of let it slide, because she did annoy me a little bit, but again, I just love I mean, I like the picture of Dorian Gray, and like that book is very morally corrupt. Like, there's a lot of issues in that book, but I love it. And yeah, so I was having the time of my life reading it. I think it's because I was after something that just hit all the boxes for me. So I was like, yes, give me evil uncle who is like who runs this like back criminal underground through his tavern. I love shit like that.
See, I really
I'd be
liked
writing
the
a
premise. I will say, like, it... I think my problem is the pacing. It feels like the fact that he is a smuggler...
I thought it was a bit slow. Yeah, I thought it was a bit slow at first.
Because, okay, either you have to reveal very quickly that he's a smuggler, or you have to have that be the thing that drives the novel, is that something is going on and she doesn't know what, and she's like uncovering the clues. Whereas the way that the book unfolded was at 60%, which I DNF'd at, she had found out that he was a smuggler. She had found out because he told her that he killed people to get that stuff that he smuggled. She had fallen in love already with this guy that she'd met like 3 times, and who she literally acknowledged was a bad person. And
do you know what I will say? At least it's not insta love, because at least she actually met him a couple more times.
oh yeah, it could have been worse. But the fact that like that scene with the beach where she sees them wreck the ship, that really like I was just so annoyed with that. I was like, I cannot be bothered reading more, because the way that she did that really irritated. She basically became this. Okay, I understand that it's a gothic book, right? Like, it's her character at many points of this book felt passive enough that she was like the old sort of stereotype of like a narrator who is just there experiencing stuff. Like, nothing that she does has any impact on the story. And that irritates, because look, I can deal with a lot, but I think when there's a character who just doesn't really do anything, it irritates me, and I'm just like, I want to tell them to just get a grip and do something. Anything at all.
It didn't really feel like she had any agency.
Like, there was that scene where she follows her uncle out into the moors and she doesn't find him. And my assumption is that the vicar guy perhaps was going to meet with the uncle, and that's who he was talking to, and that the vicar guy was on his way home when he bumped into her or something. But she she loses sight of him, and then she gets lost, and then she meets this vicar guy who she immediately tells everything to, and she just, it's like, why? You said that you wouldn't tell anything for your aunt, and then you meet this one vicar and you're suddenly just like, it actually made me so angry how she would act as if she wasn't afraid, and as if like she would stand up, and people would be like, oh, I see that you've got him tamed or something about her uncle. And then it's like, well, no, because she's not doing anything. She's literally listened to him say about how he killed people, and then instead of doing anything about it, she's just like, oh, I'll get us out of here eventually. What are you talking about? Like, I don't, anyway.
I think, well, because she mainly goes there for her auntie, doesn't she? Because she wants to get her auntie. I will say, I thought the betrayal of, like, not the betrayal, the portrayal, alright, that's the word. The portrayal of her auntie being, like, this abused woman being, like, into submission. I thought that was quite realistic for the time. Like, you can tell, like, she even describes her being as quite fiery, and now, like, this woman is someone she doesn't even recognise anymore.
Especially when the uncle's not there and she gets a bit more chatty.
Yes.
I will say, I liked, there were things I liked about it, and I think that's why I'm so passionate about, because I think we said this in the Princess Knight episode. When you have, like, a lot of hopes for a book, you have more negative things to say about it when it lets you down, because you see the potential that there was. For me, I really like the book as a concept. Sorry, I just imagined that meme. Do you know what the meme I'm talking about?
It's sort of. My mind's not conjuring the image up, but I know what you mean.
Yeah, I'll get a picture so that you can picture how I am right now.
Oh, that, yeah, with Cynthia Iverigo, whatever her name is.
So basically, I think that the concept is really interesting, especially because while I don't appreciate the way that she falls in love with somebody who she the whole time is like, this person is not good news, because it's like, please, for the love of God. Women, if you're out there and you're listening, don't ignore the red flags, okay? Don't ignore the fact that a man says that he will probably end up being horrible to his future partner, if he ever had one. That is like never something that they say if that's not going to be true. Honestly, just get out as fast as you can, run away before anything happens. Even if you have feelings for them, walk away. Like, literally don't. It's fine. This woman, though, being like, her and Jem and her uncle and her aunt being like, they're not even foils of each other. They're like each other, but in the future. Because she says a lot about how Jem is basically her uncle, and how she can see that he is basically her uncle like 20 whatever years ago. And how her aunt used to be the things that she supposedly is. I don't believe that she is those things, but everyone says that she's those things. And so it's like she's looking into her future and she still chooses it. And on the one hand, I appreciate that, because I you know, as a writer, I think that cyclical sort of stories like that, where you know what's going to happen because you've seen it, even if it was with different characters. I appreciate that. I appreciate especially that, you know, it's her uncle's brother and it's her and her aunt. But I didn't like the relationship. I didn't like that happened. And I felt like it lacked that complexity that I liked about the ones in Rebecca. Which makes sense because that was a later on book. She probably heard... I made a whole video about this on TikTok, where I talked about how, like, themes and stuff, like, an author develops how they present them. So she probably had, like, figured out how to do this very unhealthy, toxic sort of relationship better, dare I say, in the future. But I did appreciate that it was there, and I did appreciate the idea of, like, a girl... It's kind of like the Jane Eyre thing, right? Of, like, her coming to this place and it being off somehow, and everything being kind of okay in a way, but there's something and she's not privy to what that is. Isn't it? This is a completely unrelated rant, which is fine because that's what this podcast is, but does the word privy come from the privy chamber, or does the privy chamber get called that because of the word privy?
Well, Jamaica Inn's based on a real place, so because is it in the one in Bodmin Moor?
It's in Bodmin in Cornwall. Yeah.
Yeah. Privy to the inn's dark secrets. So yeah, it's privy to the secrets of the inn.
It comes
apparently
from the French and the Middle English.
Oh, you actually I thought you were on about the themes, not the actual word.
No, because I want to know if... I'm assuming it came before circa 1300. Yeah, okay. So the Privy Chamber
23,
comes from that.
By the way.
Okay. That's my
that
age.
makes much.
I will accept that she had a very different upbringing and she didn't have the internet.
Yeah,
but still,
baby.
like... But also, at the same time, I just... The thing that really irritated me... If she was naive, she's naive. I read... One of my favourite books this year was Teddy by Emily Dunley. You might like that, actually. Okay. It's a sort of, like, literary... It's one of the comps for my book that I'm gonna write, the one that I spoke to you about.
Oh, the pop star one.
Yeah. Because it's about this woman who... She gets married, and basically she's, like, slept around a bit in her youth, and she's, like, the daughter of a quite wealthy conservative family and stuff, who are, like, in politics in America, and her husband works at the embassy in Italy, so she lives in Italy. And she's very naive, and she knows basically nothing, and then the story is revealed to her with basically people looking at her in pity, because they're like, I know that you didn't know this. And so she gets blackmailed. That's not a spoiler, that's like the whole point of the book. It's on the jacket. That actually happens like halfway through, which I thought was a really interesting choice, not a bad way. And again, spoilers for this book, but she gets blackmailed, and the guy comes back to her and is like, "Look, I saw your name on your checkbook, and I looked you up, and I'm sorry, but I can't accept that money anymore. I need more." Because she is wealthier, and he knows that she has connections, and that picture of her means so much more. And so basically there's a picture taken of her in a compromising position, and it's not her fault, but she is the one who has to shoulder the blame and take the responsibility. And so she just keeps going on this spiral because everything is like a mess for her, right? And it just, like, she's naive and she's a bit stupid, and I don't hate her. I thought it was a really good book, but she doesn't think that she's smart, and other people don't tell her that she's smart. Whereas I feel like Jamaica Inn, the problem that I have with it is that she was constantly talking about how she was gonna fix things for her and her aunt. I said that because I changed my mind. I was just gonna say for her aunt, but she also obviously wants to get out of it herself. She was talking about how she's gonna bring down the smugglers and stop it and stop the crimes because she can't live with that happening. She talks about how she was gonna stand up to her uncle, and everyone else was like, yeah, you stand up to him, you know? And even her uncle was like, you know, you've got that good quality. But then she just didn't. And I think it would be different if no one pretended that she was like that. Or if perhaps other people said it, but they said it in a way of like condescension, of like, well, you're literally just a young woman. Like, you're so fiery. Wow. Like, if they did it like that, I wouldn't mind. But it felt like we were being told who she was, and then she wasn't that person. That is my main problem with it, outside of the plot. Because, like, I can fully get behind characters who are dumb, and who make stupid decisions. But it felt like she sounded in her head like she was smart. But then she, like, walks into somebody. She's, like, trying to... Do you remember? She escapes the carriage by, like, squeezing through the window, and she's just so tired, and like, she's just so tired, and she's watched a man be killed, and she squeezes out the window, and she's gonna go get help because they're about to kill people, and then she just doesn't look where she's going and walks into somebody and gets caught, and then fights away, and then in an attempt to get away from that person runs directly to the place where they're all congregated. And I was just like, for the love of God, do anything else. Like, use your brain for like 1 millisecond, please. And again, it wouldn't have mattered, but like, this is a woman who is literally like, and I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that, and then she messes it up. And she doesn't. And I was like, I get that you are a naive little, you know, village girl who, you know, your ideas of love are based off of the people that you've seen be miserable. But, like, first of all, even that kind of irritated me, because she thinks that people are going to be miserable because she sees newlyweds with babies arguing a bit. And, like, I get it that does happen, but also I feel like there's a point where, you know, all newlyweds who've got a new baby, they come out of the honeymoon stage. You know, they've got a baby, they aren't sleeping, the man's going to work all day, he's coming home. It's a time period when women are expected to do all of the housework, and she's not able to because she's got a baby. I feel like she perhaps in that was naive for thinking that that was the way that things always were. And the thing that irritates me, it's not her naivety, it's that she thinks so highly of herself and talks a big game, and then just doesn't do anything about it and doesn't walk the walk, you know? And, like, again, the thing about the getting married, it's okay to change your mind. I think that there's a lot of people talk about that all the time, where they're like, oh, I thought you didn't want to get married, I thought you didn't want kids. And then people change their mind, because you know what, people grow and their brains change and they develop as people. I don't think that that's bad. I think that that can be really well done. What I have a problem with is the fact that she settles down with possibly the worst man that she had available.
She likes the bad boy.
Like, It's
That's
just
what worries
like,
today. But I'm just thinking, because you DNF'd it, did you get to... This is going to be spoilers, because you'll never read it. Did you get to the point where her uncle was found dead?
no.
Basically, so, like, the end of the book, obviously, we know the vicar's evil, and he offers refuge to the night after she finds her uncle killed, face down. Like, he's just... I think she describes him as, like... Because she got... I think she get... Either she runs away or she gets locked up somewhere. I can't remember correctly. And
She
because
probably
they found
gets
someone
locked
else.
up, knowing her.
Yeah, some other guy got locked up, so they try and blame him. It's the peddler guy.
Oh, yeah.
Him. So he gets locked up, so they try and blame him for killing them. But she finds her auntie dead, and yeah. So the big reveal is that stays in his house and finds like a drawing of him as a wolf, and he turns out to be the leader of the pack. And I think what I did like, though, it's very good for like literary analysis when you think about it, because a lot of the scenes with the vicar, I kind of like, you know how it kept describing his hair as blonde and like a halo, because he's got like he's albino, and I was like, that's going to be a double innuendo. That is going to be... That's not the word. That's going to be symbolism for him being evil. Like, it keeps talking about his hair, and I was like, it keeps describing his... Because he's albino, it keeps describing it as a halo, and like he's supposed to hold a figure.
It was his, like, the way that he accepted the things that she said. About...
Like, oh yeah, not questioning it.
Yeah, and the way that she felt when she was around him, I will say, okay, she was naive, right? We've covered that.
Oh, very, very, very naive.
I feel like when she was talking to him and she would tell him a story, she would get really self-conscious and feel like she made it sound like it wasn't as big of a deal. I've been there. And sometimes I go into that sort of state where I feel like I'm not getting my points across because people seem apathetic. And sometimes it's because I feel like people don't understand that, for example, my depression is as bad as it is because perhaps I make it sound less bad. Like, I've been there. I know that that can be a normal thing that you put on yourself, but she only feels that way when she's with him. And it felt very much like he was, in that way, not manipulative, but that he very clearly wasn't letting her have the reaction of like, you know, I understand how you feel and we'll do everything we can to fix it. Like, he only really said, you know, you don't have to worry about this thing anymore. And I think when he said that, realistically, it was because he was going to kill her uncle because he got caught, basically. He was reckless. I'm assuming that that's the case. But it felt like he was saying that, you know, just to get her off the trail sort of thing, rather than because it was like a reassurance. And I think that when that was happening, on the one hand, I felt kind of bad for her because I was like, babe, there is no way that you saying my uncle like kills people and stuff, even if you said that in the most ridiculous, like, flat way, it doesn't change the fact that what you've said is very obviously true. Like, everyone in the world knows the Jamaica Inn is where this is going on. So, like, it felt to me like it was foreshadowing for his character, which is why, because it wasn't revealed to me. Which is why I didn't feel the need to continue on, because I was like, I don't think that there's, like, stuff that I'm missing, besides, obviously, the specifics of what happens. I thought that he had... The only thing I kind of wish is that I wish he wasn't albino, because she talks about him like he's a freak, and I get that that was, like, the thing at the time, but it just... Knowing Daphne du Maurier and how she talked about race in her other books... And
seems pretty standard for...
Yeah, it just felt like, because it is an actual disability as well, right? Like, is it a genetic mutation thing?
Yeah, because people who are born with albinism, I think they can be blind because their eyes don't have any pigment.
Or they can be red, which is like...
Yeah, and their eyes will shake, I believe.
Yeah, they have...
something like that.
I think it's called, like,
hyperpigmentation, is it?
Eye shaking condition? Oh, nystagmus.
Nystagmus, okay. I've heard of that. Yeah, another word. If you know.
But like, because it can cause, it can,
Light sensitivity.
which makes sense because like I said this to my mum. If you have like blue or like light coloured eyes in general, you are more at risk of damaging them from the sun.
Ow. Oh, is that
because-
why I always see those memes of where people say when you've got blue eyes and your eyes are like
Yeah.
really big?
Because
As someone
I
who's-
have that problem a lot, especially with the autism combined. Oh my god! I'm going to send you this picture, that's so cute. Sorry, it's for anyone at home, it's an albino squirrel.
Oh, okay, that's cute. Although I'm not a fan of the red eyes.
No, imagine if you saw that staring at you from like the woods.
Yeah. What was I saying? Because I don't have that problem because my eyes are like dark brown.
Crazy.
Oh,
that
okay.
you-
I never understood that meme, so I'm like, yeah, I understand it can get bright because like when I'm driving at night and people's headlights dazzle me.
Yeah,
That's
we're
fine,
at risk
but-
of like actual permanent damage to our sight as a result. Because it's obviously
Ow.
when you see stuff, I know this is obvious, but I'm saying it because it makes sense for the explanation. It's light bouncing off the back of your eyes, which is why they shine lights in your eyes sometimes to see whether or not it's working correctly. Your eyes, I mean, if you've got like a concussion and stuff. So the light obviously doesn't bounce off of the right spot sometimes. I think that's the problem with me, is that my light bounces too short. Is that what it would be? Like it doesn't hit the back of my eye?
Oh, like the rods and cones.
It's very
in
complicated.
your eyes.
But basically,
It's to do with, well, you know how you have to wear glasses.
yeah.
Like, did they ever say like what your issue is? Like, are you long-sighted, short-sighted? It's like depending on
I
like the
can
cods
never
and
remember. I
rods and
think
cones.
it's short-sighted, right? Because I have trouble seeing a distance.
Yeah, I think mine's the same, but I have a lazy eye as well. So like, basically, I obviously no one's born wearing glasses, but when I was a kid, when I was in like year one, they said that year one for the Americans is like is it 5 to 6? 5 to 6,
Yeah,
isn't it?
I think you're like
Yeah,
7,
ages
8,
5
and
to
year
6.
3, so you'd be...
Yeah, so it's 5 to 6. And apparently when I was drawing, or I might have been reception, I don't know. I don't remember wearing glasses in reception. Or when I was 4. It could be before then. Okay,
Well-
it's going to be... Let's just pretend I was 4. I think it was when I was 4. I kept missing the lines when I was drawing, and they were like, why do you keep missing the lines? Then they did a sight test, and they discovered that I couldn't see. I'll mix up different numbers as well, because of my eye being lazy.
See,
like,
my brother
when
had
I'm-
that problem because he's like, he's basically blind in one eye, and it's to the point that like he could now get laser treatment, but in the past it wasn't good enough to fix it. And so when he was like a young kid in primary school, about that age, like even sort of 3-4 years old, he would have a lot of trouble, and he would be sat like as close as possible, and he'd be like, I can't see. And that's how they found out that he'd had it for like a really long time, because it had never come up. Because
Yeah.
when you're a kid, you don't know that that's not normal. I didn't know that it's not normal to have... It's called visual snow, apparently.
Oh, is that when those white bits in your eyes start floating around?
It's like static on a TV screen all the
Oh,
time.
I get like random little white bits sometimes.
Like if I looked now, for example, especially on flat surfaces where there's no like colour variation and stuff, it is literally like moving static constantly. And I didn't know that
Oh,
wasn't
that
normal.
sounds fun.
And like it's to the point that
Well, you-
sometimes I can't tell if it's raining or not, because I'm just like, is that... is that
Just listen to the
water?
sound. Like, so yeah, when I was... That's what I mean, like, I didn't know. I was a kid, I don't really remember, but, like, when I was in year one, this is where I was going with it, I had to wear eye patches to correct my eye back to where it was, because it used to drift to the left. Like, when I'm
Oh.
really tired, I think it still does it, but it has improved. But, like, my vision's not that bad. I can take my glasses off, and I can still see. It's,
Yeah.
like, only certain things I wouldn't be able to, like, comprehend. But obviously I do wear my glasses when I'm driving, because I need to wear them when I'm driving.
Oh god,
But-
the driving at night.
Oh, I can't.
Without
That's what I mean. I
glasses.
can't see. I can't see.
It's actually horrific.
Why do people
I-
need LED headlights? I cannot see.
And especially like the traffic lights are the worst as well for me, because the flash on and off makes them so... Ugh.
Or it's when someone's parked and you walk and you're driving past them and you're like, I can't see.
Literally, I hate it so much. I think, honestly, that's going to be the hardest thing, because I'm going to have to drive to uni. I'm gonna have to learn how to drive to uni. Which I know how to drive. I just haven't learned this. Like I've not got I've not passed my tests because I just I'm a good driver. But when I
Do you have a car?
yeah,
Okay.
I have my car is.
I don't know. I didn't know.
My car. He's a little boy, not a girl. His name's Louis.
Louis.
Spelt.
You called your car Louis. What type of car is it?
Well, it's a KA, but he just felt like a French.
It's a Ford KA.
He just felt like a French guy, you know? It's so cute. I'll have to send you a picture. I've got like a pink blanket because you should. This is okay. PSA to everyone out there, because I've seen Formula One drivers who get stranded because they don't know basic things about cars. Right? Not all of them. Very famously, one of them refuses to let anyone else drive. He hates not being the one driving. Which is good for him. You know, I feel that. But you should always have in your car, if you have one, a blanket. Because if you get stranded somewhere and you have to turn the engine off or the engine isn't working, you might get really cold and that could, in theory, kill you. So you want to get a blanket just in case. It's good to have, always check that you've got a spare tire, that you've got a jack and like I don't actually know the name of the tool, but the thing that you spin. Like a...
Crank? It's a crank, isn't it?
I don't know, but like the thing that you...
I'm sure it's called a crank.
Here's the thing. In theory, I could change a tire. I've never done it, but I do know the way that you do it. And I know, for example, because like you should always know which side your petrol cap's on. You should always know which sides... If you have you should have on your car a place to put the jack. And if you don't know where it is, look at the bottom on the sort of the sides, the long bits of the car, and there should be like a sort of like almost as if it's been sliced like a birthday cake, and that will come off and then you can put the jack in. I swear there's a point to this. Basically, you should have things like a blanket, you should have things like maybe some snack bars that don't go out of date, a bottle of water or something that you keep safe. Stuff
I've got full cup holders in my car.
Oh my god. See, I have like...
2 in the front, 2 in the back.
1.5. I have 2 in the door, but the doors...
I beat you there.
Because I have the pink blanket, which is super cute. I have... it smells really floral. I had pink hand sanitizer, but then my mum used it and didn't close it properly and it leaked everywhere. So I have to clean that. But I've been putting that off because it's just disgusting. It's like pink goop everywhere.
Oh,
I have tissues. I have a notepad and pen in the glove box, which you should also have because you might need to write down somebody's information.
I've got a Subway fork.
Sorry, that's just...
Anything like that. I've got I did have, not liquid nitrogen. I know it might be like de-icer.
Liquid nitrogen?
Yeah, I know. I don't have liquid nitrogen. I have liquid... It's the only word that came to mind.
You mean the stuff that you put in antifreeze?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's defreeze. I think that's what I'm trying to say. It's like can, and you spray it on your windshield.
You don't
I don't know which one though.
Stuff to put water into your stuff because you can go to a petrol station. A lot of them will have a machine to do that. But you should have a blanket. You should have a notepad and pen just in case. You should have some tissues to wipe your hands if you do have to do anything with your tires. You should have the stuff to change your tire.
You should have a spare tire in the back. I've got one.
Always, okay. And this is stuff that's it's really basic, but you should have it. I've seen people put spare clothes in their car. I wouldn't do that, but
I could live in your car. You could, well, to be fair with the car, is your car right? My car, it's got a place you can hang stuff. It's got a specific hook where you can hang clothes on it.
Mine doesn't, because the back seat is there's no doors into the back seat, so it's one
mine
of those
doesn't.
Where the curve is very steep because it's very short. The length.
Yeah, so are the doors really wide? Because I've got a Fiat 500. Yes, I'm a basic white girl apparently, and
but basically there's
the
no
doors
hanger.
are really wide. I know, but I've got a hanger spot.
Yeah, but I just think my car is cute. Okay, it's a cute car. It's got a cute little pink blanket. It's got cute little decorations in it, and it smells nice. It smells floral, and it's got a radio where you can put your phone connected to it and stuff. I have the app on my phone, but it's also got the stuff that if I was, and this is the thing, right? We live in the UK. Realistically, you're never more than 4 hours of driving away from the coast. So
no,
you're never more than a few like if you were to walk for like half an hour, chances are you're gonna find a house or something, or like a business. Like, you're not gonna get stranded in the way that you might in America, so you don't need like the extra clothes and stuff. If you're in America, we have some viewers from other countries. Hello.
Yeah, hi.
I think there was like 7 or something countries. Hey guys. But basically, just have like stuff in your car. This is the reason I'm gonna tie this in. If you think that you're super smart and that you're gonna take down your uncle and his smuggling ring, you gotta be well equipped. Okay? There's no point saying that you're, great and that you're okay to deal with things in emergency if you haven't got the ability to keep yourself warm when you're stranded at the side of a main road waiting for the service to come pick you up.
Shame she doesn't have the car because it's like the 1820s or something like that.
Yeah. Oh, you could, depending on what it's like, you're probably best having at least a small fuel can, like one of the safe approved ones, just in case you run out of petrol and have to walk, pick some up. But like, even then, that's, as far as I would be concerned, that would be excessive, because I mean, you pay for cover anyway, like, and the odds that that's gonna happen, because you have to really run out. Like, they've tested it, you get like a few miles usually on empty, so
Exactly.
but yeah, just be safe, be prepared. And yeah, this all started because we were talking about eyesight.
Have you ever actually seen, speaking of cars, just before we move on, have you ever actually seen my car? I think you've seen the interior.
Yeah, I've not seen the outside because
Oh, it's a little black Fiat 500. But I really want an MX-5.
I don't think I'm gonna get a new car.
Oh, I mean, I've had my car a couple of years, and I, obviously, it's second hand because it's a 2016 plate, but I own my car. Like, I can sell it and get a new car. Not there's nothing wrong with it, but, like, if I wanted a new car,
Yeah.
nothing's stopping me.
Here's the thing. I looked it up. There's a car that I could get, and it's a lot of money, but it's not a lot of money. It's a classic car, and it's like 66,000.
What's it called? I'm curious.
It's a 66 Mustang,
Okay, it's a Mustang.
and it's not got like a specific model. But if I was gonna pick, I think I would get a GT 500 from 67, but they're a bit more expensive because they're like a very specific model that a lot of people really like, and they're obviously not being produced anymore. So
It's a nice car.
yeah, and I would want one of them because I wouldn't want to buy another car just to be practical, which I know is dumb, but like if I'm gonna spend like 20 grand on a car, for example, I would want to at least buy a car that I want to keep for a long time.
Mm.
Because I have a lot of love for the car that I have right now. I think I've told you this before, right? I want a garage, like a proper many car garage. I want a collection.
Think you have. I don't think you have, actually.
I want a
that's the
car
first time
collection. I
heard
have a
that.
list. I want
You need
3
a big
Mustangs
house.
in all.
3 Mustangs.
I'm thinking I'll just like make one, or I'll rent one or something. Like
Rent a warehouse.
yeah, like something separate, because I want 3 Mustangs. In an ideal world, I'd have at least 4 Ferraris. I really
4 Ferraris.
love.
Put a BMW in there with it.
There's like an old Mercedes-Benz that's absolutely gorgeous. There's I can't get one, but it came out this year. The Aston Martin Valor. They made 110 of them for their 110th anniversary, and they were all custom made. I would have loved one of those, but they were like millions to buy them.
I'm not sure whether I like that.
I absolutely I was like, that's gorgeous.
Very shiny, though.
But I don't know. I want like so many cars.
To be fair, I say I want an MX-5, but like I still want that. But I also really love Nissan Figaros, which I think I've said before. Like, I absolutely. There's one here for $999, but I bet you have to do it up.
Probably.
Oh my god, oh, look at it.
I think
it's pink.
Oh, there's a kind of pride in that though. There's like, I'm not good at it yet, but I do eventually want to be capable of doing most of my car repairs myself. Like, obviously you have to get it MOT'd and stuff.
Yeah, it's valid.
But I want to learn how to do it, because I asked my dad and he was like, I don't really know stuff like that. And I was like, how do you not No. Like, this is the same guy who will buy something for his bike and then spend like an hour fitting it. And I'm like, okay. It just.
Mm.
Anyway, my point is that I do, as you can tell, I think that we shouldn't be dependent on other people and we should have agency in our lives, whether that's making choices for ourselves or being able to get ourselves out of a pickle, which might be that you just, don't freeze at the side of the road when you've crashed your car or something. Or it could be that you know how to actually do the rest thing for you. And I feel like it irritated me that she really did just make so many ridiculous mistakes. And
it was just like, yeah, she did disobey her uncle quite a few times, though. I suppose there was a little bit of
but she
rebellion
was so
in that
stupid about
sense.
it, man. When she was like,
not the smartest way, no.
there was a person in the room next to mine, and he must have heard me. And it's like, well, why did you come downstairs? Why did you do that?
You should have. If you could hear them, why didn't you just,
And the thing is, she said, oh, well, if I'm doing it to show that I don't listen to him. But, like, it's just stupid to put yourself at risk by doing that. Because for all she knew, he would kill her. She didn't maybe know that he would do that. But she had an idea of who he was. And she just didn't really seem to think things through. And then, again, other people were saying, it's... Okay, there's a syndrome for this. I don't know if it's, like, been coined or anything. But in books, there are some times when the author will say that a character is super smart, and all of the other characters tell you how smart this character is, but then they don't make smart decisions.
No, I know what you mean. Like, can I just say, in my book, like, they say he's smart, but how can you be so stupid?
Exactly.
I acknowledge that. I acknowledge that.
To give two different examples of this, one I think that's good, I read Jurassic Park recently, I really liked it. Ian Malcolm in the book, I haven't seen the film in a really long time, didn't really like the film that much, loved the book. He, from the very beginning, is like, this is gonna go wrong, and it's gonna go wrong in ways that you can't control, and the longer that you stay in denial about it, the more that is going to go wrong. And he's right. Obviously, it's Jurassic Park, that's like the whole point, everyone knows. But he literally is like, I predicted this from the minute that you told me about this, and I showed you why, and you didn't believe it. And it's really interesting, because in the book, it's split into different parts, and it's like called phase 1, phase 2.
Does it have that scene where the raptors eat not the raptors, what are they, the tiny little, where they eat the baby? Yeah, where they eat the baby.
Yeah.
And it's like, I swear there's an illustrated version of where, like, you can...
It is.
Yeah, I'm not going to describe it, but...
they're smaller than I even thought.
Yeah, where they're doing that, yeah.
But, like...
I've got to read that book. Just had an idea, we do an episode on Jurassic Park, the book. I should read it.
We can. That would give me an excuse to read the sequel as well. But basically what happens is he showed them this thing, and he explains it in the book how if you looked at a mountain on a molecular level, you would see the same shape of the mountain on the molecular level repeated over and over again. And it does that thing where it's like first iteration, second iteration, and it's this idea that the chaos begins slowly and it seems manageable, but then it just grows and grows. And it's really cool, like, the way that the book is presented. I didn't realise that the guy who wrote it was a scientist. I will say, the little girl in it, she is kind of annoying. She's written very much like a man trying to write a young girl. But
Makes sense.
It's fine, because you know what? It was published in the 90s, and she's not smart. She's not one of the smart people. She's like a sporty person. Ian Malcolm, this is what I was trying to say, right? So he knows that things are going to go wrong, and when he makes stupid decisions, they're the decisions that are like, they're not the decisions that get made based off of like his strengths, right? Like, they're decisions that he makes because he doesn't know better in that area, because he's not a reptile expert or a chicken expert, or, you know what I mean? So, like, he doesn't really know about dinosaurs. The stuff that he says, the stuff that he knows is chaos theory, which is very different from understanding how dinosaurs work. So his one big stupid decision that he makes, it's not something that's necessarily out of character, because, like, he took a chance to make a decision that could have worked out or couldn't have, and he did that based off of what he thought the probability was of success versus failure. That makes sense. I don't think that there are characters that make particularly stupid decisions in this book. Even, like, you know, the child making decisions that are stupid, I don't think that that's particularly unbelievable.
No.
The old man who's full of hubris, I don't think that that's a stupid decision. I will say, either I misremember, like, the film to me was different, and I preferred the book, and I think that they did some things in the book that either I just don't remember them happening in the film, or they just they didn't happen, and I wish that they did, because I was like, oh my god, that's so cool. Anyway, a different example. There are characters who, again, you get told that they're smart, and they tell you that they're smart, and then they do dumb stuff. I'm sure that you have a few examples. Let me just have a little browse of my shelf.
Right, so I don't know any examples of... nothing that could compare with Jamaica Inn, I don't think.
No, I can't think of anything. I think there are definitely, though, there are some popular books, if you're at home, think of them, but basically where characters think that they're really intelligent, everyone says that they're really intelligent, it's like kind of crammed down your throat that this is supposed to be a smart person, but then they make the dumbest mistakes, and it's like, again, I can forgive stupidity, I cannot forgive you making a character stupid when they are supposed to be smart.
Yeah. The only example I can think of is Derek in my book, but, like, he's not smart in the sense... Also, he's 16 and 17.
He's emotionally
like,
stupid.
Yeah, exactly. Like, the whole point is, like, he's academically intelligent, and a lot of people who are academically intelligent don't really know how to process their own emotions. For example, me.
I will say, Natasha's the same in Formation Lab. I wrote a scene where she basically is like, I don't need therapy. Yeah, you do. But
we all need therapy.
That's a very common thing for people to have that, especially when they're not used to feeling anxious or something, and they've, like, just started to experience it. They think, well, it'll go away. You know, I can handle it. It's not that bad. It's, like, fine. Whatever. And then it gets worse. Basically, though, that was what I didn't like about Jamaica Inn. I did like the concept, and I know that you really liked it, and I fully get why, because I really did. There were moments where I was like, I could see you writing something like this, like down to the writing style that was present. But the way that she went about it was just unsatisfactory for me, so I did DNF it. And as well, I think...
And that's perfectly valid.
Yeah, and I think, like, for me as well, I don't read the quickest right now, because, I've still got some brain fog, and so it's not like I read super quick. And the book I'm reading right now, I'll send you a picture of it, it's Gone with the Wind. The text is tiny, like, there are so many words on a page.
Oh gosh.
And the pages are so thin. I'm like, okay, that's great. And the chapter's like 20 pages as well, so fun. But basically, it took me like 6 days to get 60% in and decide that I just was not gonna finish it.
And that's fine. I mean, I gave it 4 stars. Like, I was just having fun with it. I think I just needed something. After, like, just, you know, doing my book and something, I just needed something I didn't need to think too much about. Something I know I'd probably like because it's got all the genres and tropes that I like. So I was just like, I was having fun with it.
Yeah. And I don't think it was a bad book. It just is that just my tolerance is different.
Yeah, she was stupid. I will admit that. I do it.
Yeah. I think if either the plot hadn't gone, because I think it went slowly, but it also went quickly. Like, the events that happened very fast, but it read very slow. And I think if it had one of those things, but not both, I would have probably kept going because it did intrigue me. But to me, it was like Fight Club. I watched a bit of Fight Club. I got the idea of the plot twist, googled it to make sure that I was right. I was, and I wasn't enjoying it. I was like, this is so boring. And that's not an insult to the author, that's not an insult to the writer of the film or the director or whatever, but...
Alfred Hitchcock, I believe.
Is it?
Yes.
Oh my god. But if you, like... I think sometimes you just know that something's not for you, and especially once you've figured out... Because, like, as I said, I knew that it was the priest guy. I was like... This guy, like, he's not here for no reason. He's not going to save her. Because if he was, he would have done it by now. He would have gone to the police with everything she said.
Yeah.
But he didn't do that. So I think that there was just no stake in staying in it for me, and that's fine.
Exactly.
But yeah.
But yeah, it's still a fun book. I think it's a different book. I think it was, at least you can say it was a bit better than The Princess Knight, unfortunately.
I did prefer The Princess Knight, but I think that was because The Princess Knight was
More fun, I guess.
yeah, it wasn't as grim.
No. I like grim books. I can't help it. I love grim stuff. It's not my fault.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's always a subject that's fascinated me. Like,
Jamaica
look what I did
Inn.
my bloody dissertation on.
Jamaica Inn.
I've chosen
to me,
anything.
It's like the
Yeah.
equivalent of a really very heavy, rainy, quite windy day in England.
Oh, my favourite. My
in
favourite.
a city specifically, because I think in the countryside it has
Like
a very different
Edinburgh.
vibe.
Well, I mean, like Edinburgh.
I'm thinking like if I was to look outside my window and it was raining,
Oh, do you mean more like a more modern kind of?
kind of like, well, kind of, you know, like cobblestones in the rain when they get kind of grey and dingy
Yes.
and the
okay,
walls
yeah.
seem a bit more damp than usual. That's the vibe,
And the
especially
sky,
because of
and the
Jamaica Inn.
yeah, and the sky is a turbulent grey, and it's turning dark as the storm's
Yes.
rising. Anyway, sorry, we're getting a bit of poetry there.
But I will say that's not a negative.
No,
I love winter in England. I have to say, I am,
it's very reflective of the
I did look
UK.
it
Well, it's
up,
in
though.
Cornwall, isn't it?
because I was like, I am so fed up of the lack of sunlight in the winter. That's like the only thing that I don't like about winters in the UK. But France, the sunset is an hour later in France in the winter. So I can deal with that. I can deal with because it sets it like, literally I used to come out of school at 4 o'clock and it would be dark. That's not okay.
4 o'clock. You finished school at 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
What? I finished at 3.
Except on Fridays when we started at sort of the same time, but we finished 20 minutes early.
Wow, look at that, 20 past. Like, you finished school at 4. Wow.
I was so excited about going to secondary school because I was like, I'm going to get finished with school before 3:30.
Preschool.
And I'm going to be home. And then it was like, oh,
This was primary school.
no, this was
Oh, okay.
secondary.
Oh, okay, I thought you were saying you finished primary school at like
No,
4.
no.
Oh
But
my God.
I think that because the school that I went to had a primary school, I don't know if they finished at the same time, but I think they might have.
Oh God, that's a late. What time did you start though?
20 to 9.
Oh, so like similar. Like ours used to be 9:15 till 3:20. Then it moved to 8:30 till 3 o'clock.
Yeah, we'd started 20 to 9 and then about 10 to 9 we'd go to assembly. 5
God,
past,
yeah.
10 past, we'd go back to get our first class, and then we'd have lunch from 12 to 1.
Oh, see, if I remember, it was like we'd have like form.
We had
then
2
either
breaks
we'd.
though.
Yeah, no, we had was, if I remember correctly, this is going because obviously my school changed, became an academy halfway through, and that ruined the school entirely. But like from, it used to be like form assembly if we had assembly or stay in form. Then it was the first period. Then we'd have the second lesson. Then we'd have a break. Then we'd have 2 more periods in between. Then we'd have lunch, and then we'd have 2 more periods at the end. That's what they were called. Periods just mean lessons and stuff. But and then
Yeah, we had 8
we'd go home.
of them.
Yeah, we had
2 a
6,
break,
I
2
believe.
lunch, 2 a break, 2. And
Oh,
they would
that's-
be, I think, 45 minutes each, basically.
50 for us.
Is
Gosh, that
that
seems like a
right?
lifetime ago
Because
for
they
me.
would be
Yeah.
like an hour and a half for 2. Yeah, okay.
When I got to college, they were an hour and a half.
The annoying one
But
was
then-
when we had like PE for one period, and then the next period that was connected to it without a break was English. And
Oh, mine was double. Mine was always
a bunch of us
double.
would be like late for English, and the teacher was really annoyed because basically we'd have to get changed from PE, and we'd have to do a PE class, and sometimes we'd be off site. So
That's ridiculous.
the teacher was like, "You're all late," and we were like, "Yeah, but we physically can't be faster."
That's stupid. Well, like that's why ours was always. It always was a double period.
Yeah, ours went, and sometimes it was fine, but I preferred doubles because especially when they
Yes.
like, if there's no break between them, it's so dumb because you literally are spending some of your class time walking from places, and if you're on opposite ends of the school, especially in the rain,
Oh.
there was one way to get around the school without leaving cover, but it was like, it took you like 10 minutes to do because the buildings were like multiple buildings connected to each other.
Oh, that sounds fun.
Because like the original school was the library, which was built 400 years ago. And so
my school wasn't. My school wasn't that old. It was 60 years old.
But
Mine was
then-
built in the 1960s.
like the assembly building and the building with like home economics, like the cooking and the sewing room, they were in the Centenary Hall, which was like the school isn't a school anymore, by the way. They decided
Oh.
to merge the boys and the girls school, and the boys school is the bigger building. So the girls are
That's
now
probably
going
a-
to the boys school,
It's probably flats or something now.
which is kind of sad.
Mm.
Who's
But
going to
anyway,
talk
yeah.
about the haunted library?
You. Ooh, that's a cool, like, short story. Anyway, we should probably wrap this up.
Yes. Thank you for listening. Next week
Yes.
is the episode about
Writing degrees.
writing degrees. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
and
would
then
say
the week after we're doing the bell jar.
we are, which is one of my favorite books. So I
I
have a
won't
lot
say
to
what
say
I'm
about
thinking. So yes, I will. I mean, I'm listening to the audiobook because that way I don't have to pay for it.
it. Yeah.
I am, because I get audiobooks for free on my Spotify. So I am at I've got 2 hours and 10 minutes left. I'm 71% there, so I'll have it done by the week after.
Yeah. You're at the good bit.
Yeah, a lot of it going on dates, but this is the bit where it's like, right now I can see why people like it. The other bit was her just going on a date with a load of
As
random
well, the
guys.
further you get into it, the more that those dates become actually relevant, because it's like the way that
Yeah.
she feels is shaped by her experiences with men. There's a point, I don't know if you've got to it, but we'll talk to it. Anyway, what I was going to say is that if you follow, we have an account on TikTok. It's the Bookish Rambles podcast, but we
Yeah.
post, as well as on YouTube, we post little snippets now. We haven't filmed any for this episode, sorry, but we've started to film with like a camera for little bits, and we don't do that all the time because it's a little bit difficult to do. If you want it, we'll consider it in the future when we get some upgrades for the podcast, but go follow and you'll get like little sneak peeks of the thing, and you'll get to see our faces when we talk about them. Mostly just my face at the minute because we're still figuring it out, and
Yep.
I'm the one who runs the
My
account, so
In my stupid schedule.
yeah, but don't worry about it. Go follow us and check some of those out, because we will be posting in the upcoming week about the writing podcast episode. No, the writing degrees episode. And there's a few really interesting discussions in that one, whether you're interested in getting a writing degree or not. So, thank you for listening.
And we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Bookish Rambles podcast. If you want to hear more from us,
Follow to get the next episode delivered straight onto your feed.